Hi everyone, welcome back to my video podcast. Today we have another book review and I'm so excited about this one. Anyways, you are watching Teresa and this is Shanti. The book we're going to be reviewing is Daughters Who Walk This Path by Yejide Kilanko. So as usual, I'm going to start by talking about our author, Yejide Kilanko. Yejide was born in Ibadan, Nigeria. The book is actually centered, if you would like, in Ibadan. I don't think it's centered, but majority of the book is centered in Ibadan, and she is currently a social worker in Canada. And I think that reading this book, I think being a social worker is a good choice. I don't know. That's not shade that she's not a good writer, but I think her job influenced the book, or maybe her personality is just showing in the book. And being a social worker, like, you can tell that she cares for people. I learned about this book from my friend Chamaka, so shout out to Chamaka. She sent the book my way and I got to read it. You can get the book in the US, Canada, UK and Nigeria, and I'm sure you can get from Play Store. So the book is split between 4 parts. Part 1 is Morayo and Eliayo. Part 2 is Morenike. Part 3 is Morayo and Morenike. And part 4 is Morenike. No, sorry. And part 4 is Moriayo. I'm sorry, but the names. Moriayo is a rape victim earlier on in her life, unfortunately. And then the book just builds up on that and like different things that happen. And the first thing that I really liked about the book was care. There was a lot of care and love, in different forms really, but there was a lot of care, love and support, if you would like, for Morayo and what she experienced. When I got to the part that she was raped in the book, and it's earlier on, so it's not too much of a spoiler, it's earlier on in the book. When I got to that part, I was scared for Morayo. I was scared because I imagined what would happen afterwards. You know, she wouldn't be believed by the time she finds like the courage to finally speak up. She will have to be seeing a perpetrator, and he'll be viewed as the victim, as the man that was lied about and everything. But I was pleasantly surprised, and I think this is where Yejide's social worker experience kind of came in. She highlighted what would have happened, like what should happen in a way when someone is raped, like the kind of support that she should get from, or the person should get from their family. So I was very proud. I was proud of Morayo's mom and dad. Like they weren't the best, because, you know, for some people they just don't know how to be there for somebody that has experienced something tragic. But the father was angry that it happened to his daughter, and I was happy for that. And her mom wanted to talk to her but didn't know how to, and bless her heart, like that's just all I kept thinking. I'm like, Morayo needed her mom, but her mom didn't know how to be there. But at least she wasn't like completely out. Like the way Yejide portrayed all the characters, she showed us that they did all they could. You know, like sometimes with some people, your best is not good enough. It's just not good enough sometimes, but they try to do their best. They could have actually, now that I'm saying it out loud, you can want somebody to do more than their best, and sometimes there is more than a best. Sometimes people just do what they're comfortable doing and name it as their best. Maybe this is what the characters did, but I was proud because it was a step further, but it was still realistic because it wasn't perfect. after the part one, and I was like, okay, where would this story go? Like, what would Yejide do with it? Like, what possibly could she write? And she surprised me. Part two about Morenike was amazing. Morenike was one of Moriario's aunt, and she gave Moriario the support Moria needed from her mom. So even though Moriario's mom wasn't giving her that support, she had somebody to give her that support. And shout out to another character, Auntie Aduni. Shout out to Auntie Aduni, because in her own very, very little way, but special way, she gave Moriario support in my eyes. In their own very, very special way, and very, very little, like for some people maybe insignificant. Like, she said something, she wasn't just quiet. Do you know what I mean? She did something for Moriario. Morenike, back to Morenike. Morenike was Moriario's aunt, and she stood as Moriario's strong support system after what happened to her. And then we see Morenike's story. So Morenike and how she worked her part. Part 3 is all about Moriario and Morenike and their journey, being each other's support. After part 3, I had the same reaction. I was like, okay, what will part 4 look like? What would Yejide do? What will be something new? And she surprised us again. I had the notion that people that something bad has happened to when they were younger would grow up to be good, because they have been on the receiving end for what is bad, so they would try as much as possible to project what is good. But that was not the case for Moriario. She actually embodied things that are bad. She wasn't a bad person or a villain, but she embodied a lot of what is bad, and she hurt people. Let's talk about things I enjoyed in the book. I talked about parenting and how I was proud of each and every parent in the book. Like, big ups to parents that are able to support their children even when they go through things. Like, as a parent, think about it. You would want to keep your children against all harm, but still harm happens to them, and you just have to be a parent and be there for them and make sure that they overcome it. And that's what every parent did, in my opinion. In their own roundabout way, they were supportive. You will see in the book, and you have different opinions. If you have like different opinions to what I say, just comment down below, because I always like to discuss about books clearly. One thing I really like about books and writers, I like when writers divulge information without any emotion. And I feel like Yejide got it to the T. Like, she just gave you information, and it was led to your body to react to the information. She didn't teach you how to react. She just let you react the way you wanted to react. And the writing, the suspense, the carrying it along. I read this book in 3 days, I think. 3 or 2 days, I'm not sure. It glues you. Well, this is quarantine, so I have enough time. It glues you to the book, and she just captures you, and you're just in the book. But one thing I really like in writing, I like when writers don't tell you what to think about the characters. You form your own opinion by looking at the character, like by watching the character development. You're like, oh yeah, you are evil, yeah, you are bad, yeah, you are good, yeah. And we're doing this knowing fully well that we have capabilities of bad and evil ourselves, but we are judging the characters based on what we like, what our personal values are. She doesn't tell you what your values should be. You can just judge the character off the back. Like, you can just judge the character off of what their actions are, instead of her telling you what the characters are. There was proper character development. There was no character that had the same, well, no major character had didn't change. I don't know how to put that. You know, as human beings, you grow up, you learn new things, you decide, oh yeah, I was wrong here, I was bad here, and then you try to make amends. And Yejide did that for all the characters. I feel like she gave them redeeming qualities. She allowed them to redeem themselves and allowed them to change. I I think, yeah, Yejide did that for the characters. She allowed the characters to change. She allowed the characters to develop. She allowed the characters to show good and evil, like the yin yang symbol. Good can be in evil and evil can be in good. Let me say my favorite quote from the book. My favorite quote was, "I promise that for you there will be fewer secrets. I promise to talk about whatever causes you pain, to talk about shame. I promise to listen even when I do not understand. I promise because you are worth it." I feel like this was my favorite quote, and this actually, I won't tell you who said it. Just read the book and find out who said it. It was such a touching moment. I cried at this part of the book because I knew where it was coming from. I understood where it was coming from, and this is kind of promises that I want to make too. Another quote that was very, very close to be my favorite but didn't quite make it was, "You are worth 1,000 sons." Normally, I would take problem with that. 1,000 sons, like sons, SONS, like male child. You're what 1,000 male child, basically. Normally, I would take offense and be like, "Oh, so you don't like rate female children or this and this and that." But I just thought it was a big compliment. Like, how else can you pass out a compliment? Like, it was a huge compliment to be worth 1,000 sons, even though you're female. I loved it. At that point, I stopped and I was just daydreaming, and it was such a cute moment. Let's go into rating the book. So I rate this book a 7 out of 10. Actually, let me stop. So let's look at the writing style of the book. I thought the writing style was perfect. I like easy reading. I read this book in 3 or 2 days, I'm not sure, but it was such an easy read. I loved it. Beautiful teachings in it, so value added, it was there. It had like a good strong value. I think I'm going to give the book to my mom. I have a feeling that she'll enjoy the book. Relatability, I related a lot, even if I've not experienced this, but I know like this is a reality that happens. So I feel like relatability, it has it there. And then timeline, it was the book plot was for the 80s, but I don't think like that was relevant. I think like the book is timeless when it comes to the timeline, and I don't know if that is a pro or a con. When I say timeless, I mean like you could forget that it was happening in the 80s and just enjoy the story. And I don't know if that is a pro or a con, but I am rating this book a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed this book. Like Yejide, I am expecting a second book. I don't know. I feel like I would read a second book from Yejide. So if she's working on any, I'm going to read it. Okay, so I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I like books that take me through emotions. I remember reading the book and sending voice notes to my sister because she had read it, and I would just be like, what if? I keep guessing what will happen in the book, even though the book is already written. Like, my guess wouldn't add anything, but I just keep getting scared. At some point of the book, I was like, I think I want to stop reading and not read any further, because that would have been a perfect ending to me. But I feel like the book ended perfectly, and it would be a huge add to your library. This was Yejide's first book, and again, you can get it in the US, Canada, UK, Nigeria, and Playbooks. Thanks for watching, guys. You're watching Teresa, and this is Chat with Me. Sweating.